opportunity. It shows us a lot of things. That was a time when, everyone came together to form Mahakali. And, Mahakali came down to the earth, to defeat the demons, the Rakshasas. So it's an exercise, and what it's showing us, one part is the power of unity. So it's powerful when we come together as a group like this, to engage in something during this time where the mother's energy is wide open. There's like full access to connect to her. And the story of Mahakali is that powerful reminder of the importance of coming together in unity and merging energies in a process, because that's what Mahakali was a merging or unity of energies of powerful beings to transform the negativity. Because you can't really destroy negativity, you can only transform it. And so she battled this demon over a period of, the 9 days, and then reached her full peak at, the final day, Vijayadasami. But, it's teaching us the mechanism of transforming that energy. That's what she did. And it was through the mechanism of groupism, through the unity, through the merging. And that is the key to accessing that power. We come together as a group like this during this high energy time to access that power in that group way. And then, it's also showing us that everything, everything inside is also outside. So Kautsky's talking about the events in the world, the chaos. Well, it's the same thing that's going on within us. So, when we transform things within us, we transform things outside of us, and vice versa. Everything is, whatever's inside is outside. There's really no difference. So it's teaching us about that cycle and how to work with the energy and that whole process of transformation. And it starts with the inner. And that's what the Navaratri is about. We're transforming our inner demons. And in that, then we can, transform the outer, these things that are in the world. And it is that process.
Right.
And, so what we want to do together during this time is, move into that deeper understanding of the mechanisms of the process and engage in that process together and, connect to her and to connect to her more effectively and to connect to her more directly, not just, we have experiences that are wonderful, but it's about being able to direct the energy, to implement the energy, to manifest. So as we come together through this cycle together, that's what we want to do, be more effective, more directive, and manifest, in creative ways. So, that's why I find it very exciting that we're coming together during this time so we can engage in that process.
Super. Yeah.
Happy to be here and see everyone again.
Yeah. And to just add upon what Kautsky and Mohini had to say, as you come closer to the mother's energy, it's like turning the fire up. And a lot of times when the mother's really close, she's like a mirror. She's in us, but we're in her. And that process of removing the veil of illusion of that reality is what we come to be personal transformation. That's what Swami Kalshwar was brilliant, because he used process in order to be like an alchemy. It's like a chemistry experiment. He knew that if he put a couple mantras here and 41 days there and put the group together, that, this heat would start building up. And it's uncomfortable, because what happens is that which is false goes through the process of removal. And the things that separate us, which we call the illusions, are basically two things. One is fear. The other one is desires and attachments. So those are the things that we come into this lifetime grabbing onto, like, this is who I am. This is how I identify myself. This is how I consider myself to be. But yet the divine is really there to help us remove that darkness and remove those emotions, those blockages, those traumas, so that we can have more love and power at the same time. Brilliant. Swami boiled it down to two things: love and power. And it's Shiva Shakti. And we were talking about this. It's kind of like you need both on this path. It's just during Navaratri, we're focusing on the energy of that power of the mother's vibration. But we need that Shiva energy to help us balance it. Because you can't have one without the other. You can't have Shiva without Shakti. You can't have Shakti without Shiva. So this course is designed to help each other figure out where we fall in our process, where we miss the point. Because the illusions are there to help divert us away from recognizing something, some breakthrough, some transformation. You know, I'll give you an example. The last 2 months have been about fear. How many people have not gone through fear in the past 2-3 months? Please, let me pranam to you if you have gone through that. Because in those moments of fear, what we hold on to is what our salvation is going to be. The mother, and to a greater extent, the master, the universal master, will push us beyond our concepts and our fears. Why? Because they're illusion. Because what's on the other side is this vast amount of love and energy. So the question is, okay, well, how is this course different from any other course? What do we offer here in this course? Well, knowledge. Because you have to develop the discrimination and understanding of what's going on in you and around you, so that you can discern and to focus and to have the discipline to get to your final goal. That knowledge is the knowledge that Sri Kalashwar imparted before he left his body. So that's the first thing. Second is process. Why? Because you need a process that's been proven, that has a specific outcome and a result. And an intention comes along with that process. Why? If I want to go from here to San Francisco, I need to have a map. I need to be able to follow directions. I need to follow the discipline of the process of the group, because it's the collective process of the whole group which amplifies the power and the energy to help us gain transformation and insight, to understand who the mother is, to understand who we are, to understand the relationship that we have, that we want to deepen. So the second thing is process. The third thing is intention. Got to have that arrow. You have to have that focus. And then along with that intention, you have to have the faith and the patience that goes along with that intention. Wouldn't you say so, Mohini? Because if you don't have the faith in that which hasn't manifested, and you decide not to follow through, or if you don't have the patience to just go through the process and the cooking that goes along with it, no results will happen. So I'm the more pragmatic person. I like to, I believe, because Swami told me so many times, without discipline, there is no success.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
What do you mean by cooking?
Cooking means you bringing all the components together. Put a little flour, put a little sugar, put a little bit of milk, put a little honey, put a little turmeric. Then you put it into the heat. Heat is just an alchemy. The heat is what helps to solidify and purify that within us that needs to be purified. I know it sounds like a really horrible thing, doesn't it, Mohini? It's like, I'm cooking in this kitchen and I'm going crazy. You know what? The poison that's within us, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be negative. I mean to be positive about this, guys, because this course is about results. It's not about love and light and candy and what do they call that? Capricorns or unicorns, yeah, and the rainbows and stuff like that. You don't get to your final destination of recognizing who you are without pain. There is no gain, so to speak. So that's the beauty of the group, because the group helps us to stay together. It supports us. The energy supports us. The group intention supports us. Sticking with the discipline supports us. So I hope that answers your question, Kowski. Does anybody else have any other questions that they want to ask? Suzanne, cooking is your specialty, right? You've been in the kitchen for only a short period of time. And how has it been for you?
Yeah, it's extremely intense at the moment. I'm in the middle of the womb chakra process. I think it fits very good because I'm trying to read a lot of things about this mother and womb and all this connection. And it's still very, very new, all this system for me, and to understand it's quite difficult. But on the other hand, I receive so much blessing through the process. It's totally incredible. Yeah, and my connection to Baba is so strong. I can't believe it. So it's amazing. Good cooking. Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, the reason it feels intense is because the vibrations are shifting to a higher level. So as you move to higher and higher frequencies, the lower frequencies have to adjust. So whatever is you're holding that's at a lower vibration, you have to, integrate it or release it. It can't stay there because you're moving up. So it can feel really intense because we hold on to our blocks. We hold on to those things that we really need to let go of. Like Paul was saying, it's the fear, it's the desires. And there's just a fear in change. Even if change is positive, there's still a fear, because it's an unknown. So, Swami always said fear was one of our greatest blocks. Fear of death, fear of life, fear of success, fear of failure. I mean, it's all there. And sometimes we're not even aware that we're being fearful or the desires. So, we have this natural resistance just from being human beings and living in the world, conditioned the way we are. But as we're using the mantras and shifting to that higher vibration, the things we're holding on to, we can't hold on anymore. But there is that resistance, and that's where the intensity comes from. So if we can just relax into that space of accepting, and trust, it's a lot easier. It's smoother. It doesn't mean we're not going to feel things, but it's okay because it's part of the process. And then in the end, it's that beautiful transformation. So going back to the story of Mahakali, it's this fierce battle with the demons. Those are inner demons. Those are the desires, the fears, the whatever blocks that we hold. And then after this intense battle, she turns into the most beautiful, most powerful form of the mother, very peaceful, the Mayasastra Mardini, where she's just, divine, sparkling peak of power. And that's at the point, that's that cycle And then you have that energy available to you to move on to the next step in your life and to create something that brings you joy, or, you know, deepens your relationship with the mother, Baba, Swami, you know, it deepens your relationship with the divine, essentially. And, you know, it brings you to a greater space of creativity where you can pull those positive things into your life that you want to manifest.
And that's really the key. Mohini touched upon a really important point, is that once you start accessing this energy, you start developing a more masterful way of working with it, you can direct that energy anywhere you want. That's how you become a master, is that you take the energy, you understand how to work with that energy, you focus that energy for personal transformation and also transformation around you, because it's all about implementation. You know, if we can't enact transformation within us and around us without using that power. And so that's the relationship that we're trying to develop, you know, an active relationship with Mother Divine. And at the same time that we have Mother Divine, we also have the blessings of Shiva, who's the protector, because you have to have a balance. You know, you have to be able to hold love and power simultaneously, and like an arrow, just direct it where you want the transformation. And it's amazing what happens when you start actively engaging it. You know, sometimes in my meditations, I look for the places in me where I want transformation. Places inside me where, you know, trauma still exists, that memory, that holding, that vibrational frequency. I look for it. And then I engage in that transformation and I invoke. You know, I literally invite the mother's energy to come and heal that which I cannot see and that which I cannot transform myself. And lo and behold, it's things start shifting and changing in my life. You know, when I have moments of fear or sadness or anger, you know, those are the three most powerful forms of the negativity, especially in today's upside down world. Swami Kalshwar predicted it. He said, down would feel like up and up will feel like down, and nothing will be making any sense. He said, you know, there will be organisms that will be introduced into population, which will remove vast population. The earth will be shaking. Fires will be erupting. All this stuff he predicted. But how to be at the center point of your inner soul as those things happen. There's a great peace that comes along with that. And, you know, transformation happens, especially in this Kali Yuga. Although it's really high negative time, it's a huge positive time to have enlightenment and transformation in your lives much faster.
And the mother energy is more on the side of power. Did I understand that right? That this is the force who brings the transformation, and love is more on the side of Shiva, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the foundation for transformation, because Shakti is her manifesting energy, and the seed of that energy is that love. She feeds off of it. I mean, the more love you have in your heart, the more Shiva character you become. And then automatically, it's amazing. The mother just kind of appears out of nowhere. She's just drawn to it. It's just phenomenal. And for me, it helped me to understand why Jesus was so much a love character, because that's how he worked with the mother and her energy. it's a phenomenal dynamic. It's just, it blows my mind, the power of love. I mean, not romantic love, but that consciousness love. That once you start to access that, your whole world changes completely. It's the most mysterious and the most powerful thing I've ever experienced. Kelsey,
Oh, Sparrow had a question too. So, but I want to ask a question, then we'll ask Sparrow. What pulled people to want to take this course? What pulled you here? Sparrow, did you have a question you wanted to ask first?
Well, it's not a question. I would like to share something, if it's okay. Very short.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, transformation, it's a great thing for me. You know, I see my life, my life is crazy, very crazy. What's happening all the time, it's very crazy. And I work very intense with energy, sometimes maybe too much. I simply, you know, a very good story from the Bible I always remember for, you know, amazing, you know, personality like Moses, for example. Moses is a king. He grew up in a king. We know the story, everybody, that he grew up in Egypt as a pharaoh, as a king. And later on in his life, he became to be a hermit who looks after sheep. So it's like, try to imagine like living a life as a, you know, Maharaja, king character, and suddenly, you know, he is middle of the desert with no food, with no water, looking after the sheep. It's harsh, it's dry, it's hot, all of these things. So he had to go through these, you know, transformation. And then later on in his life, he came to a point where he realized, I am who I am. And that is a great thing. He became a prophet. And if we look on all the prophets, either in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, you know, Hinduism, we all see all of these big masters who had to go through this transformation. It doesn't mean that every person is going to be a master of you know, to be a prophet. That's not the case here. It's, you know, being a master is mastering, you know, my anger, my upset, my I want, my, you know, many other things a person can have as blockages. You know, I'm thankful. I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for, you know, the mother. I'm thankful for Father, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter for me. I'm grateful and thankful. So transformation is a good thing. I don't see it as a negative. Actually, it's a very positive, because, you know, if we are not here in this course or don't work with ourselves, you know, we'll just be like an animal. Just sleep, make love, go out, be drunk. What's the point of this life? Getting money? You know, I have nothing. I really have nothing. But, you know, I'm not worried about tomorrow. I know I have to surrender. And in some way, how things works out. I don't know how, but it works out. So don't be afraid of transformation. I believe transformation is the, you know, is the stages where we have to grow. I am personally growing. Mr. Paul knows much about me, and he knows how, you know, tough my life can be. That's how it is. So I believe that we all have to come further in our life, every person in his way, because we are having each individual journeys here. And that is also important. Thank you.
Thank you, Spiro. That's really amazing. I mean, I feel as a human on this planet, on this journey, our role or our task, should we accept it? It's like Mission Impossible. Should we accept this adventure, is to really transform and to recognize who we are and why we're here. It's not the mundane, it's not the everyday aspects of things. It's our divine nature and how, I mean, it's really clever how the Maya hid that within ourselves, which means we have to really have the courage to take a look at ourselves, everything about us, our dark sides, our good sides, whatever, every aspect of ourselves in order to really shift and transform and have that courage to do that. So it's really, it's like Mission Impossible. Are you willing to accept this mission, while you're here on this planet? Because as humans, we have the capacity to do that introspection. That's what makes us different from the animal kingdom, is we have this ability to really go deep, to go into the higher consciousness, to really connect to the divine. So, not everybody has that courage to do the introspection or the hard work. But I commend everybody here that's in this group, because we've all been doing the hard work and really wanting to understand. And it's not just for us in our own personal self, it's for the transformation that is taking place on this planet. So really, I commend everybody. So anybody else like to share what pulled you to wanting to take this program?
Maybe I can say something again. Because I experience a lot of things now also in this process, and I don't understand what is happening. I see it's really changing. Like my energy, the frequency is totally changing, and many things in the outer world are changing. And for me, this system, to understand this system with this mother and Shiva, so it's incredible, precious if I get some more understanding of it. That's it, yeah. And to connect to this mother energy more, yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Because you've been on the Buddhist path for many years. Did you ever have any connection with like Kuan Yin or White Tara or Green Tara? Did you ever have any experiences in that way with
Pardon?
the feminine force that's in the Buddhists? It's White Tara, Green Tara, Kuan Yin. Doreen probably knows more than I do, but I know that they also recognize the feminine force as well. That energy. Yeah, see, Doreen's showing. There she is. I have Kuan Yin on my altar. But anyways, so just asking that question, because it is the same energy, it is that same force with a different name.
Yes, yeah, I was in touch many times, because it's more than 20 years I was practicing, or am still practicing. And but Tara, yeah, I did some rituals, like always 10 days intense Tara practice. But I can't grab it. Let's say in this system everything is explained, and then you can see the result of, like Paul was saying, yeah, you do something and you see the result. But when we did the rituals with these great masters, just the karma is somehow changing, but there's no knowledge about it. Yeah, I mean, the practices are working also in a way, but it's not that I have a one-to-one understanding or all this. It's not so much there where I studied. Yeah, and I was mostly practicing on wrathful male deities or union deities. Yeah.
That's Swami's greatness. I mean, Swami was, as he called himself, a soul scientist. And he would have systems put in place to see results. Here, we're going to do this with this process. Let's see what the result is. And before he would release a process, he would actually do the process himself, see what it was about, see what the results were about, before bringing it forward, because he wanted to really understand that and have that real, what's the right word? That connection, that understanding before he gave it to his students. So he's really, I mean, I think this path is really unique in that there is that process of that can get you a result, a measurable result at the end of some kind or some way that you can recognize. It might not always be like a hard concrete thing, but it's more of maybe a deeper understanding of that particular energy or yourself for that matter. You know, it's a really amazing system to get results.
Yeah, it's this one-to-one. It's wonderful. Like I experienced it in the five element process. It's really, I could see this purification happening, as it was said sometimes. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Thanks for being there and for teaching. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
There's one thing I could say is that I enjoy the satsang. You know, I enjoy coming together in groups, and it keeps me focused and keeps my mind where it should be, because it's so easy to drift off into 7 million other things that are offered on the internet or whatever, right? There's so much out there right now. So coming together in satsang with people who are focused on Swami's specific information path, like that's good for me. Good for me. That's one reason I'm here, other than, you know, I'm hooked. What can I say? Baba hooked.
Well, glad you're here. Swami always said spirituality is an ocean. I mean, there's so much. I mean, he was very much into saying, you know, focus on one thing, because if you really want to hit your target, you have to stay disciplined and focused and not have your, well, as he would say, you know, feet in two different boats. And then, you know, coming together in satsang, it's a beautiful support, but it's also an energetic mechanism. So it really supports your own personal process. And I mean, I can feel the difference too. It's when I'm doing my meditation and my own processes, it's very powerful, but it's exponential as soon as we get together in groups. And every kind of implementation, because it's implementing, we're implementing when we get together. Even just to satsang, to share, you know, even if we're not doing like an energy process, we're still implementing the knowledge, we're implementing the mechanism of coming together as a group. And it just really amplifies the flow of the energy. And that's how you learn and grow, is you put the energy out into the nature, it's reflected back and it comes back to you. So it's powerful, you know, and, you know, whether you're organizing, like we're organizing this, or whether you're participating in it, it doesn't really matter, because we're just one circle and the energy is implementing, you know. So it doesn't matter where you are in the circle. It's like we're all working together. Our energies are linked when we do that, supporting each other. And it's nice, it is nice to connect with people who, you know, share similar experiences and views and you know, want to go deeper into the knowledge.
We had a share from Kristen Joy. She said, I'm here to connect more deeply to the divine feminine and to balance the feminine power within me. Even though this year was a huge change for my career due to COVID, I haven't felt much shaking during the pandemic or the fires. I credit a lot of that smoothness to the processes and teachings, the time with Swami, and the grace of the Guru Parampara. So as Swami would say, keep go. And that's a really important aspect, is, you know, don't be stagnant was a really important mechanism that Swami said. You know, keep growing, keep expanding, keep deepening your vibrations. And you know, it's easy for us to get complacent and kind of like you know, to just kind of divert to other things. But to be on the spiritual path to get the results that we want, that's a big deal. Is there anyone wants to share some insights as to what they'd like to get out of the course? Like what is your, what's an area of transformation that you'd like to see happen? How about financial prosperity? Because that allows us to, yeah, let's just be real, guys. I mean, part of the spiritual path is to be able to have abundance and prosperity, because that allows you the freedom to be able to do other things, like to do retreats, to do workshops, to take courses, and so on and so forth. You know, I think there's a possibility that we might want to invoke Mahalakshmi as an aspect of the course as well, because we're not here just to say, okay, get closer with Mother Divine, let's have a darshan, you know, let's ask for all 8 boons and cities and stuff like that. That stuff's great, you know, as a group we can put that intention. But how about opening up a channel of prosperity in our lives so that we can be able to be more of service to the world, that we can bring the teachings and meditation to the world, that we can bring healing to the world. I mean, if your focus, because we all know that with money comes fear. You know, it's like as the money kind of dries up, COVID-19, you know, what's the natural reaction is panic, fear. And then, you know, I had to deal with that. And so learning how to decharge that fear, knowing how to grab that energy in a way that creates more abundance and prosperity around you. It may not be that you will win the lottery. However, things may happen in your life that will open doors, because we all know that when we're tense, it's like holding on to a sand in your hand. The tighter you hold on to it, the quicker the sand leaves your palm. And that's why Swami said that 95% of spirituality is how much you can relax and be in the flow of things, you know? Having intention without the tension is a real mastery. How does that sound, guys? We can just have this be the prosperity course. You know?
Aspect.
Yeah, an aspect of it. And that could be one way that we manifest the mother's energy. There's, you know, I have no fear about, you know, there's a process that Swami did give, which is a 21-day process to increase prosperity through Lakshmi via her consorts and her sisters. So we can certainly use the group intention to help each other in that aspect, because that's using the mother's energy, isn't it? It's accessing the mother's energy, and to learn how to, you know, for me, it was always about letting go of the tension, because I used to be a very intense guy. I still can be a very intense guy. And that intensity is like a fire. It kind of burns everything. We need to have the cooling aspect and the love button. Push that button, you know? Okay, so we got a thumbs up on that, guys? There you go. We're manifesting.
So Mechtild asked a great question. Is it Lakshmi's spiritual abundance as well? Absolutely. Absolutely. So Paul, do you want to explain when the course will be starting? And
4th of October, then that is the first day of the first class. And then it's the following 3 consecutive after that. And guess what? The 25th culminates with Dasara, which is Baba's Samadhi. So that's kind of amazing. That's Sunday. So that'll be a very, very, very auspicious day. And, also Lakshmi came to Baba and Baba said, no, no, no. Don't come into my Dwarkamai. Stay outside the Dwarkamai and bless all my devotees that come and visit this Dwarkamai. So it wasn't that, he knew how to use the mother's energy to help other people. And yes, Mitchell, Lakshmi is spiritual abundance. It's true. That's a very good point. Mohini, anything you want to ask, or does anybody else have a question or a comment or sharing what you guys would like to see happen out of this this course? I mean, Mother Divine Darshan would be great. I wish it upon all of you guys. But you have
just wanted to add.
What?
No, I just wanted to add, I mean, Lakshmi is about abundance. The abundance can be in anything. It depends on what your intention is and how you direct the energy. It's just the energy of abundance. So yeah, it's spiritual. It's whatever's in your heart.
Yeah.
A lot of people direct it towards financial abundance, but it could be anything.
I have a question again for this darshan, because it's very new to me, this idea. But I can say from my experience now that, I mean, Baba is with me all the time. So I don't feel separated. And when I ask a question, he's answering, and everything. He's so close to me, but I don't see him with my eyes. So is the darshan something like this as well? Or is it only when I see and can touch? Or yeah, I would like some more clarification on that.
Darshan, what Swami said was seeing with your eyes open that form that comes to you. But, you're having a very intimate connection with Baba. He's talking to you every day and guiding you. So, he's right there with you, whether or not, I mean, maybe at some point you will see him in the form, but it sounds to me like he's already coming to you. And you're very well connected, so.
Yeah, it comes in stages, and absolutely, it's just a darshan is connecting to that divine energy. So you're having those darshans every time he communicates with you. And then, like Kowski said, at some point, he may appear in a physical form. I mean, that's usually what we strive for when we place our intention for a darshan. That's the highest form of experiencing the energy, is pulling the energy into the three-dimensional realm. Physical, so you could touch them and they're solid. Touch their feet only, I might add. Try to reach out and touch them in any other way, but anyway, that is a reality on this path. It just comes in stages, but it's powerful. The presence is powerful. I mean, that's the most, and it's beautiful to have that. It makes you feel held and taken care of. That is the bliss.
Yeah, and this is already totally there. I'm totally not. I'm never separated. It's incredible. Yeah, and this three-dimensional form, then he has to look like in the picture, right? I mean, like he was looking like not that some guy is coming to me and he's just speaking through him somehow. It's not like this, right?
No, maybe that may be a darshan as well.
Yeah, the energy can flow through people too.
Also, okay.
It can. You have to be careful, but just if you think someone like Baba speaking through someone, you can ask them who they are, and if it's Baba, they have to reveal themselves.
He can also appear through animals. I mean, I have had experience of Baba Darshan through a very, very loving, unusual dog, and I felt Baba's energy, but the dog came and gave me support at I guess in my very dark hours, and it was It was very, there was no I guess it came out loud and clear. I recognized that this is Baba's energy.
Mhm.
And even though it's not in human form, but it's Baba's energy.
Mhm.
So Baba can appear in all different forms, even through animals.
And
Yeah.
also, he's been known to show up on walls, his face on walls. There's many accounts of that. And also, like many accounts of people just like an old man with a stick comes up in the, like a beggar kind of person in a crowd, you know, you're on the street somewhere, right? And some old man with a stick sometimes. I've even heard people say they got hit with a stick. Or no stick, or just an old man, and later you go, oh my God, I think that was Baba, you know, because maybe in the second 2-3 seconds you're like, that's just an old beggar. So it's just, you know, Swami says be alert, right?
Mhm.
And catch the moment.
Absolutely. It's really a challenge to catch the moment. But yeah, absolutely. It's always like
Something,
20 seconds later, oh my God.
that's something that we'll talk about in the course too. How
Yeah.
to recognize and capture those moments, and what would you do in those moments? Ask for whatever.
Yeah, in those moments, that's when you can ask for something, a blessing, a boon. When you catch it at that moment, that's the gift. You can receive something.
So, Paul, are you Mechthild? I saw Baba as a light person on a wall in his samadhi area at Shirdi Samadhi. Nice.
Beautiful.
Are you, Paul, going to be sending out an email as to when we're starting, cost, and people can pay through PayPal or through the
Yeah, just go to the
Shirdi Sai
website.
Temple, or what?
No, just go to srikaleshwaruniversity.org. I'll send out an email again with the link, and also sharing the today's satsang so that everyone can access it. And then you can just go to the srikaleshwaruniversity.org website. Everything's on the emails that I sent you guys, and like that. And probably in the next day or so, we'll be sending out a formal invitation video, which is 2.5 minutes long, that you can share with people. It's kind of, we're trying to really market the Sri Kaleshwar University so that more people can be involved. And so you can share that with your friends as well. And yeah, so just go to the website, register there. That's the easiest and fastest way to do it. And, you know, the next 2 weeks, we'll be sending out emails to everybody as well, just reminding them. And just, it doesn't have to be, you know, Kaleshwar students as well. It can be new people. And then just invite as many people to share in the experience, which is really, it's going to be quite powerful. I mean, just the energy has been so intense lately. So this is the time, you know, during this Mother Divine cycle, to be able to connect to the energy. It's really very powerful, and this process is going to be very powerful, guaranteed. Okay. So if there are no further questions, what we'll do is we'll close this.
Yes, Paul, I have a question.
Sure.
About new people. Since the Mother Divine energy we're connecting, isn't charging the 5 elements, would that be a prerequisite?
No.
Okay. So the new people do not need to have do not need to have already charged the 5 elements, and they could join this process.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to us, sending you guys an email. Just share, or if you have any questions, just let us know. Mohini, Kowski, any other, anything you want to add? Okay, thank you all for participating in this Sri Kaleshwar University satsang for the upcoming Mother Divine course 2020. And we'll be beginning in about 2 weeks the course on October 4th and following Sundays till the 25th. Till then, God bless you. Yes, Kausuki? Say again? Go ahead.
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Great. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you.